Hey everybody, hope you are well and I hope you're healthy as this crisis continues. Please do everything that you can to maintain the social distancing, which is going to flatten the curve and get us back to some degree of normalcy. So please be respectful of that. I want to talk about the assignment that you're going to be working on this week, and specifically the movie 12 Angry Men. I've uploaded that on Edmodo Teams, and I've sent you a link to your email. You'll need to watch the film, which is that Google link that I provided. If that doesn't work, please contact me. But I want to go through a couple of the things that you're going to have to write about and talk about the movie. It's an awesome movie. I've been showing this movie to my students for the last several years. It's called 12 Angry Men. I want to go through a couple of things. First of all, you must have a notepad by your side as you're watching the movie. It's really important that you take notes as you watch the film. I specifically want you to pick out 3 characters from the start to the finish of the film and follow those characters' development from beginning to end, because you'll need to write that for one of your questions. The movie was released in 1956, and it's an old black and white movie, and it's a classic, but in many ways it's timeless in regards to its story of the criminal justice system, and specifically the job of a juror. It's an awesome movie. You are going to have to write several responses after having watched the movie, and that's all part of that document that I also uploaded. I want you to be really thoughtful. I want you to be really clear. I want you to write as much as you possibly can for each of those answers. And you must include examples from the film. That's why taking notes is so important. I'm going to be really hard on your grade if you don't include examples for each of your responses. And then lastly, I want you to pay close attention to the characters' biases and prejudices. This is an ideal movie that covers not just civics, but goes perfectly well into the class that we're going to be starting next week, or after the April break, that is. This assignment will be the very last assignment that will count for your civics grade. And then we go on break April 9th, and then we come back, I think it's April 20th, and you'll be beginning the Perspectives on Race class at that time. I want to quickly talk about biases, because this is something we're going to get into in the next class. But again, this movie just hits on so many perfect elements that we're going to be covering in the Perspectives on Race class. The first one is bias. I want to make sure everyone understands what bias is. Bias is prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group, usually in a way considered to be unfair. That's what bias is. And then we have things called conscious bias and subconscious bias and unconscious bias. But more important, it's the idea that it's prejudice displayed in sort of action. We also need to understand what prejudice is. Prejudice is one of 2 things. This is the dictionary definition I'm giving you. It's preconceived judgment or opinion. In other words, it's an unfavorable opinion without just grounds or before sufficient knowledge. So if you're going to make a judgment on somebody or something before you've actually learned the facts, and you've made a sort of judgment in your head about that, you have demonstrated prejudice, and you'll see that repeatedly throughout this movie. So those are the 2 things that I really want you to look for, bias and prejudice in this film, and you'll need to be writing about that throughout your response. All right, that's it. I hope all of you are well. Please continue to stay in touch with me. I'm going to be providing some live Teams meetings so that we can talk about the movie or other things that may be on your mind. I hope all of you continue to be well. Take care.